story isn't just about this story isn't just about a rap beef. It's about power, loyalty, legacy, and how the lines between the streets, entertainment, and business eventually collide. Today, we're breaking down the real reason behind the fallout between 50 Cent and Big Meech, how the BMF story fits into it, and why the murder of Jam Master Jay still matters to this conversation. Let's start at the beginning. At one point, 50 Cent and Big Meech were aligned, not friends in the traditional sense, but connected through business, storytelling, and legacy. 50 Cent became the executive producer of the BMF television series, which brought the Black Mafia family story to mainstream audiences. The show was based on the real-life rise of Demetrius Big Meech Flannery and the BMF organization, which became one of the most powerful drug trafficking networks in American history. BMF wasn't just a street organization. It was also a cultural force. They used music, nightlife, and celebrity relationships to launder influence, build protection, and blur the lines between crime and entertainment. That's a key detail because BMF didn't just move drugs, they moved proximity to power. Artists, promoters, and industry figures benefited from that proximity, whether directly or indirectly. Fast forward to the BMF series' success, the show did numbers. It revived interest in Meech's story and cemented 50 Cent as one of the most powerful producers in television. But problems started once Big Meech came home. When Meech was released from federal prison, expectations changed. Control mattered, narrative mattered, and loyalty mattered. Things really escalated when Big Meech was seen publicly aligning with Rick Ross, and that's not a small move. Rick Ross and 50 Cent have had a long-standing feud that goes back years, involving diss records, lawsuits, and constant public shots. So from 50 Cent's perspective, seeing Big Meech next to Rick Ross looked like betrayal, not business, not coincidence. Betrayal. That's when the tone shifted. 50 Cent began firing shots on social media. He mocked Meech. He questioned his integrity. And most importantly, he used the one accusation that carries the most weight in street culture, a snitching. Now, let's be clear. 50 Cent did not produce new legal evidence. What he did was point to people around Meech, particularly Tammy Cowens, suggesting cooperation with law enforcement in the past. That accusation matters because Tammy Cowens was closely connected to Meech and later became a co-producer on the BMF series. So when 50 Cent hinted that someone close to Meech cooperated, it wasn't just personal. It threatened the entire BMF legacy. In street culture, once the word rat is introduced, the damage is permanent, whether it's proven or not. Big Meech responded publicly, rejecting the claims and mocking 50 Cent in return. At that point, the relationship was finished. This wasn't about TV anymore. It was about reputation. And that brings us to the deeper issue, control of the story. 50 Cent controls the BMF series. That means he controls how history is portrayed, what gets highlighted, what gets left out, and who looks powerful versus who looks compromised. For someone like Big Meech, whose name and reputation are his only remaining currency, losing control of that narrative is a serious problem. Now let's zoom out because BMF doesn't exist in a vacuum. Hip hop has always had a complicated relationship with street organizations. And no story illustrates that better than Jam Master Jay. Jam Master Jay was one of the most respected figures in hip-hop history, a founding member of Run DMC, a pioneer and a gatekeeper. Behind the scenes, Jam Master Jay was deeply connected to street-level activity, including drug distribution. For years, rumors circulated, but in 2023 and 2024, federal prosecutors confirmed what many already suspected. Jam Master Jay was murdered because of drug-related disputes. Not music, not fame, money, specifically a cocaine deal gone wrong. The trials revealed that people he trusted felt cut out, disrespected, or cheated, and they responded with violence. That case matters because it shows a consistent pattern. When street logic enters the music business, it never leaves clean. Power shifts, money creates resentment, and loyalty is constantly tested. BMF followed a similar path. They used music to move influence. Artists benefited from their presence. Promoters benefited. But once the money stopped flowing evenly or control shifted, the structure collapsed. The Jam Master Jay case proves that even legends are not immune when street business overlaps with entertainment. So when you look at 50 Cent and Big Meech, this isn't just internet drama. It's the same cycle playing out in a modern public way. 50 Cent represents business dominance, ownership, control. Big Meech represents legacy, street respect, symbolism. When those two concepts clash, there's no peaceful ending. Now add social media. Every move is public. Every insult lives forever. Every accusation spreads instantly. That's why this beef escalated so fast. And that's why it's unlikely to ever be repaired. 50 Cent doesn't need reconciliation. He owns the platform. Big Meech doesn't need apologies. He needs credibility. If those needs don't align, so what's the real reason for the beef? It's not Rick Ross. That was the spark, not the fire. The real issue is control of narrative, loyalty, expectations, and the uncomfortable truth that once street stories become entertainment, someone always loses ownership. BMF lost control of its story. Jam Master Jay lost his life because of unresolved street business. And 50 Cent understands one thing very clearly. In order to survive, you can't be loyal to everyone, only to the business. That's the lesson. And that's why this beef matters. Because it's not just about two men, it's about how hip hop continues to wrestle with its past and whether the culture can finally separate success from the streets, like Sub and Share.